Is your puppy growling when you go to pick her up? That can be puzzling or even alarming for some humans. I get a lot of questions in my Facebook group and here on our YouTube channel about this topic, so today we're gonna dive into it. I get it, puppies are adorable, they're small, they're not always very graceful, and they definitely are not always good listeners. Not yet anyway. So when you need that puppy to move or do something or go somewhere, it seems easier to just scoop her up. Unfortunately, this is not a good habit to get into. If you can't do it with a 150-pound St. Bernard, I suggest you don't do it with a 2-pound Chihuahua either. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And you shouldn't have the mindset that it's just a dog, I can do anything I want to it. Yeah, we hear that one all the time, and there's a good reason not to think that way. If you think I'm going a little overboard on my advice, just stick around and I think I'll convince you by the end of this video. Now, most puppies are pretty compliant with just being picked up at first. This naturally positive outlook about life is something that happens during the imprint period that takes place until our pup is 16 weeks of age. But as they grow, especially past 4 months of age, they start to develop their own preferences. A lot of times that includes a puppy communicating, please don't pick me up, or please don't handle me right now. So I want you to build a good habit by not invading your puppy's space and not picking her up when she doesn't want to be handled. Picking up a puppy repeatedly when she doesn't want to be handled is actually going to lead to unsuccessful recall skills, trouble at the vet and the groomers, distrust of you or other humans, running away when you approach, being barky, quick to aggravate, and reactive behavior. Also, not giving you any warning signs before resorting to a bite because her previous communication had been ignored. Obviously, those downsides won't happen with every dog every time, but the more you disregard your dog's personal preferences, the more likely she's going to resort to something serious to get her point across, and the less likely she'll listen to you. So I'm going to go over the most common times a human picks up the puppy and teach you what to do instead. We'll also review a few of the situations where picking up your pup might be the only or best option, and how to do it in a way that doesn't cause pain or discomfort or a puppy that avoids you. Okay, the first situation where I hear about puppies being picked up is going to the potty spot. Yep, this is going to be a very frequent sequence in your day. Now, when Lady first came home, I was taking her out every 20 minutes to prevent accidents. You might think that picking up your pup is the best way to get her out to the potty spot faster, which is probably true right now, but it could be creating a negative association with you and going potty. You probably just took her away from something she was enjoying and now she's being handled and then plopped down in a new and potentially overstimulating area. And instead of carrying her, I actually just want you to teach her how to walk to the potty spot. If she can do it on a leash and with a collar, that's great. She doesn't have to have great leash skills yet though. As long as she's not really agitated by the leash and as long as you're not putting tension on it, use the leash to guide her. You'll want to practice this routine outside of the time that you need to take her to go potty. Now, if she's not tolerating the leash just yet, use her natural curiosity and your energy to get her to move. If you're exciting, she'll probably follow you. If you have stairs, I need you to teach her to use the stairs. Now, if your dog is really small, you may need to get a ramp or some of those mini stairs to help her. I have several students who have actually confessed to a fall down the stairs while they were carrying their wiggly puppy. That's not good for you or your dog. And if you're not taking your puppy outside for potty, I hope you'll change that habit. From a young age, we want to teach our puppy to go potty outside and definitely not on any pee pads. Now, you can check out my free new puppy starter kit if you need ideas on how to teach her to go outside and how to avoid any potty pads. The link to the free resource is below in the description of this video. Now, another common scenario when people pick up their puppies is to put them in the crate for a nap because they are biting or they need to leave to go somewhere. Please don't do this. From an early age, we want to establish the crate as a positive place for sleeping. And if you're putting your puppy in there when she isn't ready or doesn't want to go in just yet, you could be undoing all your positive crate training work. So instead of picking her up, you can lure her into the crate with a treat or toss a treat into the back of it. Eventually, with the training games from my online program, you can cue her into the crate and she'll comply because you've practiced it enough. Crying in the crate is a common problem people have with new puppies, and if that's you, you can take a look at this video for some great strategies. So just like crates for naps and nights, puppy pens are a great way to keep your puppy safe when she's awake, when you can't fully supervise. Be sure to get the puppy pen with a door and be sure to guide or lure your puppy in the pen rather than picking her up. If she needs a little practice going in and out of the pen on cue, this is a good training session with some treats. We have a lesson on pen training in the course too. With the games for the crate and the pen, you're gonna create a positive place for your puppy, and it's gonna be easy to get her to go in when you ask. Some people pick up a puppy when they wanna snuggle with her. Puppies are cute and super snuggly, but did she indicate that she was ready to snuggle with you? Puppies are not robots for us to program as we wish. They do have unique preferences and temperaments that we need to respect. I want you to be an inviter, not an invader, and if you're in the snuggle mood, just invite her to see if she's into it too. If she's not so keen on some human companionship right now, just let her be. If you continue to invade her space when she's not interested, you'll more likely see growling, snarling, and this could even lead to a bite if you do it too much. This is a very important lesson for kids to learn. Have you been on a walk with your puppy and she just lays down? This is often a sign of overwhelm or overstimulation. Now, it usually means your puppy isn't ready for that environment. In a situation like that, you might have tried to pick her up to get her home. We don't want you to do that either. If you can, I want you to be exciting and get your puppy moving toward home. This is then your signal that your puppy needs more slow and positive exposure to new areas before she's ready for that kind of walk. Try not to put her in a position where she pancakes and then you have to pick her up. The overwhelm isn't good for her, and neither is picking her up. Some people pick up their puppy if they need her to move, such as getting out of the way of the door or getting out of the kitchen. Now, it's totally normal for puppies to be underfoot, but let's not normalize moving her to get her out of the way. Again, train her to move on cue, or use a training game to move her. If she's underfoot a lot, consider using a puppy pen a little bit more, or teach her to go to her bed or lay on a mat. Now, when I'm in the kitchen, Pickles knows he can be nearby on a mat, but he can't come over to me and get underfoot. We did work on that skill, starting when he was a puppy. Now it's just a habit. Establishing good leash skills is going to be really helpful in avoiding picking up your puppy. You're going to use the leash as a guide, not a way to move her. Now, with the right training, she's going to learn to go wherever you guide her. That's why we suggest the training games to be done when the dog is on a leash. It helps put her in training mode, so when the leash is on, she's more tuned into you and listening for your cues. Another situation where I hear about a puppy being picked up too frequently is when they're reluctant or they're timid. The human might pick her up and say, "Oh, see, it's not so scary. Take a closer look." Well, I don't know about you, but if someone pushed me closer to something I was scared of, I would probably have more fears about the thing, and I would definitely not like that person any longer. Pushing your dog closer to something that she's afraid of is the opposite approach of managing fear. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details on that today, but you can check out this video for more information on fear and how to help your puppy feel more confident. All right, next up is the one we hear a lot about. It's the, "I tried to pick up my puppy to get them off the couch and they growled and snapped at me." Well, if your puppy was soundly sleeping on the couch and you abruptly picked them up, this caused them to panic and feel unsafe. This does lead to growling. Heck, if you woke me up out of a sound sleep by invading my space and you tried to pick me up, I did not wake up very pleasantly either. Instead, if your pup is sleeping on the couch or their bed and you need them to move, call their name a couple of times, try to make a kissy noise to wake them from their sleep. Then lure them to where you want them to go or what you need them to do. The more you do this, instead of abruptly waking them, the more relaxed they will be and the more compliant they're going to be to do whatever you ask of them. Hopefully, those give you some ideas on how to get your dog where you want them to be without picking them up. But of course, there are always a few exceptions where picking her up is necessary. Now, the more you avoid doing it when you don't have to, the more she'll tolerate being picked up for those few situations when you do have to. Keep in mind that picking up a puppy is often uncomfortable for her, especially if you're picking her up under the arms like a baby. This can actually be painful. It's pinching right here, which really creates a negative association with being picked up. If you do need to pick up your dog, look for signals of consent, like the dog stands still or even does a little hop up when you need to go to pick her up. So to pick her up more comfortably, I want you to scoop right here from her belly and then support her chest and then tuck her rear end into your body for more support and stability. If you see stress signals, put her down gently as soon as possible. A few situations where you might have to pick her up would be to get her in the bathtub or the sink for a bath, or at the vet or the groomers. And if you can avoid picking her up to get her into the car, that would be best too. My dogs are all a little bit bigger and my back could not tolerate picking them up, so I taught them all to use a ramp. It's safer for me and for them. Now, if you're gonna allow your puppy on a bed or some furniture, be sure you teach your pup to use the puppy stairs well before they're allowed on any beds or couches. By teaching your pup to use the stairs, it's going to help protect her growing bones, growth plates, and joints, and could prevent a major medical bill if they got injured when they jumped off. I suggest the stairs be a lifetime arrangement, not just for puppies. All right, I hope I've convinced you to be very careful when picking up your puppy and avoid it when possible. Now, if you're not sure if your dog is consenting to being picked up, I do have a good video for you on some body language signals to watch for. You can watch that video next. Michele Lennon here, and all of us on the How to Train and Dream Dog team are really happy to be your online puppy experts.